What do you think he cares about? What you paid $500 to sit on the court and yell at that dude taking the free throw? You think he cares about you?
Right.
He's laughing to the bank.
Yeah,
he got like $9,000 just to shoot that free throw. Yeah, so he messages me. I'm sitting here. I get a message from him from the other room saying that was a bacon biscuit bomb. That's funny.
Well, hey everybody, this is BJ.
And I'm Zach,
and this is another episode of
the Unnamed Podcast. I love that.
So I think we're just gonna keep rolling with that. We're starting to get into this routine, this rhythm. I'm sorry we're recording a little bit earlier, but we're recording these on Fridays. I try to get them published in 3-4 days. But we've got a football games, and while we're trying to live stream football games, it's just challenging. I got to break down half of the equipment in this room and take it to another place, and it's a long afternoon. But so I appreciate it.
Are you guys going to do basketball games too?
The answer is yes. Have we worked out those details? No. Gotcha. To live stream, I mean, right now we're recording with what's called a Neuse camera. It's this is an iPad, and it's going through. See if I can do some. What is it called? Inception.
I love doing pictures of people taking pictures.
Yeah, so we could see it right there, but and it's recording through a PC in another room. But to live stream off site requires us to be plugged in to their Ethernet, and that requires. With schools, you got to bypass Facebook and firewalls and stuff.
Right.
So you were just talking to Chris. He's one of the guys that helps us figure that stuff out.
Yeah, that's high level stuff. I don't know.
I know enough to be dangerous.
Right.
Like it's going to be awesome, or everything's going to blow up. I mean, you just don't know which spot it's going to be in.
You know how to make sure that you're live, but not that you're doing well online.
That's
right. Me. I can get it. Well, almost. I set it up too, and then I get a text from you like, "Hey, you got that graphic over your face."
Yeah, he was doing a live stream, and cool little lower third with his name or email, and top upper left was the live, but over his head was this image.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, I can't see you."
Yeah, I was super lazy. I had it. So I was like live streaming the build, and so that's where the graphics were set up. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna unpack this build, so I'll just drag it over here and whatever, change it, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I drug it over and then reposted the links. So it was kind of like a way for me to repost the links and get the content out there again. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, yeah, I got completely done doing the 30 minutes or so of work recording, and I pull out my phone and it was a text from you saying, "Hey, bonehead, like, can't see it." So I switched it over and was like, cool, and then I had to move the camera back anyway.
And we, at our live stream at our football game last week, we had, at its peak, because I thought it was 773, but I went back and looked at the stats. It was 783 people watching a high school football game in rural eastern North Carolina. I mean, you could imagine taking this equipment and our skill set and going to Texas or Georgia, right? But this is rural eastern North Carolina. It was 8-man football, right? I mean,
that's crazy.
Most people don't even know 8-man football.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Right? Yeah. And you're from Ohio, mm-hmm. And but we had 783 people at one point watching us live stream this game, and we had a couple announcers, and we do it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks good.
But I set that up with Brandon Potters, our business partner, and a couple of the guys, the 19-year-old that helped do the broadcast itself. Mm-hmm. But I was without my tech engineer, so when stuff started like hitting the fan, I was just like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but oh well.
That's more fun though.
So let's talk for a second. You have been testing this idea of taking, we alluded to a while ago, taking a camera and actually just live streaming your 3D printing process. Mm-hmm. Why do that, and what have you seen from it?
Well, I haven't seen anything super fancy from it yet. The reason I do it really is it's selfish. It's so that when I wake up at 2 a.m, I can check that my printer's still printing and everything's good, because usually there's stuff that's in that's very important, and it's got to be done on a specific time frame. So for me, that's the selfish reasons. I was doing this, I've done this before with like a closed kind of like a home security camera. And so I was kind of like researching which camera do I want to use, which one, and then I saw these Mevos here, and I was like, man, that's really cool, and it can kind of double. So anyway, I kind of backdoored into like, well, I may as well just live stream this, because every time, like when I'm out at dinner and I pull up my build to make sure it's going right, every person that sees it is like, that's really cool, was that the thing actually going? And I got to realize and remind myself that just because I do it every day, and it's, to me, it's normal, and it's, to me, unpacking a build of parts is the most boring, like I'm ready to get it done. But to a lot of people, that's very cool stuff. It's very exciting. It's fun to watch. It's kind of cool to see what you can pull out of the prints and stuff. But the reaction that we've had from it's been really cool. We didn't have a Facebook page, and we didn't really use our YouTube, and we just use them to pretty much just stream live of our builds running. And it's helping us build up some traction with those accounts, because someone will watch it and catch it, and then they're like, hey, this is really cool. And it's,
how many subscribers are you on YouTube now?
Oh, I don't even know. It's probably like 25.
Right. I think we're at Neuse. We're at like 39, 38, 39.
It's hard to get started on.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Snapchat. It's not easy to invite people to like your page. I mean, they've got to take some ownership in that process. But the thing is, I haven't been. We have spent so much of our time building up our Facebook platform as a business, as a model, that only. In the past 6 months did we really start diving in. We would always tweet out stuff, but I started telling our team, our guys at sports games and stuff, hey, use our Neuse channel to do some other things like videos and stuff. So that increased the numbers and engagement well. Yep. And YouTube is something I started doing a little bit more over the last 2 or 3 months, just adding some content. And then LinkedIn is something I've only been doing over the past maybe 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. And so we spent a lot of time on Facebook, and about a year ago we started diving into Instagram a little bit more. So it's been kind of like, once I feel like I've got this from where I'm going, then I kind of take some efforts to go here, to the point that now most of what we're doing is kind of second nature.
Right. And
that's the way I want our systems to be. It takes some time up front, but you repeat that process enough, it becomes second nature, like brushing your teeth. Right.
Yeah, you're building it early on to scale, like knowing, again with intent, it's you're setting things up from the beginning so that it scales fine, and you know that a lot of the stuff that you're doing up front you don't have to do on the first 25 days of posting on a platform, but if you don't do that, you're going to be the one doing that forever.
Right.
And so I'm doing a lot of the same stuff with my company. It's like, there's a lot of stuff, like I have a little job form that I make sure I put everything in so it stays organized, and right now I don't really need it, but I know like the day that I become so slammed that I can't remember something, I'm going to be glad that it's already set up, and that I'm not behind the 8 ball and trying to.
It's just a good checks and balances to the system. Yeah. Speaking of, we were talking about the video earlier and using it. One topic that I've had some conversation with some team members recently is the idea of selling versus telling stories. In other words, I got hit last night. Here's a different person. Remember I complained about somebody on LinkedIn not so long ago? Different person. Oh gosh, where did he go? Oh no, that was. Oh, I bet I don't see the message anymore because I unfollowed the dude.
Yeah, I've started actually deleting messages from my LinkedIn, because it's just the amount of, hey, how's it going? Here's my number, and here's 7 paragraphs about what we do, and we're in another country.
If we've taken the time to connect on social media, don't throw up your products on me, because I'm just going to go ooh, right?
Yeah, and it's like we've talked about before. Like, even if I need it and I want it, my immediate gut reaction is to tell you I don't.
Yeah, I'm much more likely to buy when I like, know, and trust you, right? And I've said it before, we talked about it, people don't like to be sold to, but they do like to buy. We're coming up on the hot retail season of the year, right? So people want to spend money, they're going to buy stuff, but they don't like to be sold to, right? And we can talk about car commercials and stuff all day long. In fact, speaking of that, I got in my mail this week, a big postcard, 8.5 by 11 postcard with like a scratch off, and here's the key to the brand new car. And I'm like, Do you realize how much money they spend on that?
It's expensive.
Right, but here's the thing: they know the math. They know that if they send out 10,000 of these people, these pieces, how many people are most likely to come in, and so based on historical data, it's been enough for them. And I'm going, I would take that money and actually like dump it into where people's eyeballs are. I don't know, what's this little thing called? A cell phone, a smartphone? That maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in the wrong business. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I said, "Oh gosh, I can't wait to scratch that off."
Yeah, I don't even look at the mail. Don't.
Right.
All the bills just come to an email, or they're, auto pay.
Right.
I'm not even looking at the mail.
Yep.
I'm looking at the mail like once a week, maybe.
And
it's like this.
I write checks for the business, and I've talked a little bit last couple months about whether or not I was going to start paying people through auto draft or just paying through the bank draft or whatnot. I haven't decided on that. Again, we're a small business, so every extra little fee and something is. I've got a lot of small fees, and I tell people you can get $9.95 to death, right?
Oh yeah.
You just all these small cuts. But personally, if I write 3 checks a month, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're probably cool. I'm on to take that another level. A stamp is how much now?
I don't even know.
I think it's 50 cents.
I think it's more than that.
And it might even be more, plus an envelope. You're easily at $1 to mail an invoice to another company so that they can get it, scan it into their computer system. That is, I know businesses that do this, and it hurts my brain.
Right.
Like if you're mailing out 20 invoices a day, what are you doing? You already have it in digital form.
Right.
Make a PDF and email it to them. They're going to want that. It's better for them anyway. They don't have to, you save a step, they save a step,
Yep.
you save money, they
ours.
save time, you get paid quicker because they get the invoice today, not in 3.
The only time I mail an invoice is when they've got an email and either they viewed it and it's starting to it's late, it's overdue, or I can tell that it was undeliverable or something like that. Then I print and send it off. But that is a last resort besides a phone call, which I hate those too. So, but yeah, I use for a small business like us, anything I can do to set up a system so that it doesn't require me to touch it and it still gets done.
Exactly.
I'm all in on that.
Yep.
So like our daily newsletter is, we have reporters and they type up their articles. I've seen 2 or 3 this morning already. They've got images and they put in the tags and the categories and all those kind of things that you would typically see on like a blog site, which is kind of how ours is functioning.
Yep.
But once they do that and we go through the editing and the publishing process, if it was within the last 24 hours since the last email that was sent out, then it's automatically put in chronological order.
Nice.
And it's set up as an RSS feed so that it gets sent automatically. So our daily newsletter, which goes to 4,200 people, is automatic, right? It is something that it just happens every day. And the once a month thing where I have an issue with it, by the time I get to the office and I send out 8:15, not a big deal. And I, again, to send that many emails in one day, every single day.
It's an incredible email list.
It's pretty awesome.
It's sweet. I know everybody's like, man, you should, it's all about curating to the email list. I'm horrible at that.
Well, ours is different though. Ours is a primary distribution.
You're delivering your feed to their inbox, and they're like, yes, I want this.
That's
I want everything you do to come to my inbox, so I don't even have to go to your site to find it.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And with this podcast and stuff, that bjmurphy360.com and what we're doing there, people can sign up, get our newsletter, and the first of the week when there's new content posted, it will send them that email too. But that email list is small, but it has a different purpose than people are actually saying, hey, I want to have my news in my inbox every day, just like I used to walk to the street and get a printed paper.
Question on that. How much do you charge to deliver the newspaper every day to their inbox?
Free.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's free. We give it to them for free. The email is free and the content is free. There's no pop-up ads. There's no AP news subscription. What happens in Washington, D.C. or in our state, Raleigh, the capital, what happens there is important, but you can read that from 1,000 other sources
Yep.
on Twitter like that.
Yeah, you don't really need it.
Mhm.
It's busy stuff in your market.
Right,
Like
or flip on the TV and it's there, or
Yeah.
your tablet and it's there. So we just decided that we would focus on our backyard news and tell it in a format that people are paying attention to now, and that's kind of how we've done it. So one thing I want to mention is that over the summer I had some interns, and one of them, I was kind of thinking of this idea of how do I get more engagement on Instagram, and so they relaxed the rules on Instagram TV, IGTV, a little bit this past year, and so it allowed it so that both the organization and me as a personal, profile there, a business profile there, can actually post at IGTV, and so I'm starting to take a big advantage of that, because like right now you can your normal video will last a minute, so 60 seconds or less, you goes into your normal feed.
Yeah.
But over 60 seconds, you up to 10 minutes or so, maybe longer than that now, you can post in IGTV. And I'm finding that the engagement on IGTV is better than your normal videos.
Interesting. One thing that I've noticed about that, so I tried to do that the other day too. I was like, man, I got this clip, it's a minute 17. And I went to go throw it in IGTV, and IGTV is full screen, top to bottom. And I had it formatted in 1:1.
Right, square. It won't do.
So,
it messes it up.
Yeah, it distorts it, and I'm like, man, I had to make it tricky on me there.
Right. So
trying to figure out how to do that stuff.
Yeah. So there's two ways. I mean, you can. So like some of these videos that we've done, we've chopped up some of the pieces. We put it mostly in a square format. But if it's longer than a minute, then I still take that square video and add the extra, so it's 9:16, a vertical landscape. So I'm watching it like this.
Yep.
But then you can also turn it and go 16:9 and just have the phone flip, right? Like you would like a YouTube video or something like that.
Okay. So how does that work if you've got like the way I think about this is like the way that we make a 1:1 video is you take a normal 16:9 and put it in the middle with a banner at the top and a banner at the bottom.
Right.
When you do that and you take your 1:1 and put it in, you put a banner at the top and a banner at the bottom, and then you turn it sideways. How does it propagate that?
You got to actually format it for the 16:9.
Right.
Instead
then it would be your 1:1 with a block and a block.
Right. Instead of formatting it 9:16, you're actually formatting it 16:9 so that the system already knows to rotate it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But and I don't know, when the very first time I ever did an IGTV video it's basically Instagram TV, but it's on your phone. First time I ever did it, I spoke at a church in town, and so I chopped it up, but I didn't know that it could rotate, and so I sat there and edited this entire video. 30 minutes, I took the first 10 minutes and said, okay. Well, the first 10 minutes were crap. It was just introduction stuff. It was kind of the middle and the second part that I put, but I didn't know that it would just automatically format it or turn it sideways. So I formatted the 16:9 for 9:16, which meant I had to, every time I got off screen, I had to cut and then move it over here. And every time I get back, and I walk when I'm speaking from a group. I do a lot. I like to mingle. You saw me. I mean, I'd walk up and down the aisles if I could, and but it took me forever. And then like the next time I went and did it, I was like, oh, they made this really easy.
Right.
So. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
What else is happening? You mentioned you did like a LinkedIn algorithm test.
Yeah, which I hate using the word algorithm. So
I get it.
I do it just so people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because some of the
people get too nervous about this idea. I sent what was that young man who said something earlier? He commented on a video I did, and he was like, I just don't know how to get started. And I think you made some comments, and I made a comment. You made comments, and I replied back. And one thing I think I said was, you can't think so much about what you're doing that you actually do nothing.
right.
The idea of paralysis by analysis. I'm stuck because I'm too busy trying to figure out how this works. When we're like, it's okay if you make a mistake, just do.
Just do it. Yeah.
Just do. So you had an interesting test this week.
Yeah, so I was testing out some different stuff. I'm posting from my business page and I'm posting from my personal page. My personal page, well, let's start. The business page is like 600 followers. My personal page is like probably 15,000. So when I post something from my personal page, it's going to get more traction by default because it's going to a lot more people in general. So something that I've been trying is I'll post from the business page first. So I put the best content comes out first on the business page, and then I share that post onto my personal page.
Good point.
And if the reason I do that is because I know that I'm trying to build the business page. And I know if I continue to put all my best stuff on my personal page, why would anybody go over to the other place where they're going to get it 2 days later? So I've tried to, and it pains me sometimes to take my really good stuff, and I don't get the vanity numbers on the first pop. But so I did this the other day, and I made a post, and I posted it on the Additive America page. Went really well, over, let's see here, 1,000 impressions, 37 reactions, 7 comments, really good. So when I posted that, I went ahead and took it over and shared it on my personal page. And when I shared it on there, let me see what it got. It was crazy. Oh, it finally did take off. Oh, no. So here's the one where I reshared it. I reshared the post and I got 60 views. 60 views.
Out of 13,000 connections.
Yeah, so
right.
And that was in like hours. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is wrong. So what I did was I went back to the Added America post, and I copied the whole post, went over to my own personal page, and I pasted all of that and the same exact picture. So it's the exact same post, and then at the top I put LinkedIn algorithm test, who else does this? So the first time when I shared it, I got 60 views. This one, 2,100. But it's interesting that like, if I'm resharing a page, or a post, I never get very good engagement.
Right.
I don't understand. So that's definitely a thing in LinkedIn, that they don't give us the same amount of value to you resharing a post as you doing it raw.
Right. It's kind of native. Yeah, I mean, the same. I see the same thing with Facebook. If I share a story versus actually natively placing the story, there's a big difference. The algorithms and how they judge and look at it is anything that's native, which is why Facebook competes with YouTube. Right? So I mean, Facebook would much rather you upload the video to Facebook versus taking a video that's on YouTube and sharing it to Facebook. So big difference in how the numbers work when you do that. And so now, like, we've got a couple of guys that do a sports show each week during the football season. I'm not sure if we're going to continue that during basketball or not. Just kind of up in there right now. We're just making decisions. We're thinking about the Christmas parade right now. But one thing that I've talked to them about is, hey, when we upload the sports show that you do, then start a watch party to go with it.
Yeah.
Because not only is it airing live, it's premiering, but when you start a watch party with it and you're both doing it, then the engagement should increase dramatically, and we've seen an improvement.
Yeah, well, it's extra times people's phones are dinging with a notification that something is happening relating to your content.
Right.
I tell this eBay. You're selling on eBay. It's another thing we do. My wife runs an eBay business where we buy and resell clothing. If you put your whole store on sale, everyone that's watching any item that goes on sale gets a notification, hey, this just dropped 15%. And then they get another one when the sale's about to end that's like, hey, in 2 hours, that sale, or today, this sale ends.
Right. And
so you get to hit them with they already like your item, so you put it on sale. Well, first you can send them hey, do you want to go ahead and buy it for we'll give you 10% off. Is that enough? If they don't respond, then you put the item on sale. They get another notification that's even cheaper. They watched it at $40. Now it's, here's a notification. You want it for $36? They're like, on the fence. The sale's about to end. They get hit with another email. And then you start another sale again, and it's repetitive. So this is something literally this week that we tried. When I do a sale, when I post the sales, I do them for 3 days or less. So I hit them twice with those notifications within 72 hours.
Right.
She did a 1 week, sale. I said, well, if we do that next week, let's do it this way. Let's go 3-day sale, off for a day, on for 3 days. It's still a week-long sale, but we're going to send twice the notifications.
Right.
So that's something that we're trying in there. I know that early on I was doing that, and yeah, the more times you can send notifications.
I haven't messed with eBay in a long time, but what I'm hearing is that you're basically right now going to yard sales, or you got some extra stuff at the house, and you're just going to eBay, just kind of flipping some stuff, right?
Absolutely.
That's kind of cool.
Thrift stores.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's life, man. There's so many people that want to complain that life's not fair. They can't get that job, or their boss only pays them this, and then they go home and they sit on the couch for 5 hours and watch TV. And they post all that stuff on Facebook that life isn't fair. And it's like, that's cool, you're doing that.
Right.
I leave work, I go straight to the Salvation Army.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the Goodwill.
Right.
It's Saturday morning. I'm waking up.
It
and
helps
going to
them.
garage sale.
Right. It helps that organization.
Yeah.
And you might find a good find, and then you flip it and make a little profit on it too.
Exactly. And you got to think of it that way too. You know, some people are like, "Oh, you're taking good stuff from the." No, I'm going. How often does a Goodwill get someone walk in and drops $100? That pays for everyone that pays a person to work there all day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you think they get money?
Right.
They sell stuff that they get for free. That's how they're making. They're doing the same game. They're just not playing up the.
So speaking of people who get home and just kind of get on Facebook, I had an interesting experience with a hater this week. It was kind of fun.
Yes. Those are my favorite.
We literally had somebody go on to a friend's personal profile and make a comment about, oh, that site's so boring. It's crap. It's a complete waste of time. They don't know what they're doing. 2 days later, we published a story. Guess who the first person who commented on that post? The exact same person who 2 days before was fussing about how boring we were. And I just remember going, thank you, right? Like, thank you for engaging with our page, right? Because a lot of our metrics are based on engagement. So thank you for having a negative, constructive thought so that other people would then engage with it.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Thank you for proving that what we're doing as a concept works, that we didn't police those comments, right? You were out there hating on us, and yet we let it go, and actually we benefited from your hate. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right?
It's remarkable.
It's amazing, and those kind of things are what fuels me as an entrepreneur. Some people, now granted, if you get a bunch of it can weigh on you. And I've been there, right? It can weigh on you. But as long as, the way I look at it, as long as a business owner or a public servant, which I've been, as long as your intent is pure, right? And you can communicate the intent and desire, then you can withstand all these grenades all day long, because the end goal is still the same. It doesn't change. Those people who are launching those grenades, that's just, just imagine just stepping on the piles as you're climbing up this ladder.
Yeah.
And that's the way I like to look at it. So it doesn't. I say thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I love thinking that someone, especially competitors, I love to think that you spent a meeting talking about me. Like, my name is in your mouth.
Right.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Get over it.
Right.
Why are you like, if you're in a meeting with people that you're paying to be in your business to do a particular job, and you're in a meeting with those people, and all you're doing is using someone else's name, that's what are you doing?
Yeah, but it's actually those kind of things is fun, and I'm not throwing shade. I'm legitimately saying thank you for that, because
especially on the post when they give you the engagement, they're like, like, just so you know, Facebook and LinkedIn, they don't know if the comment was "you suck" or "I love you."
Right.
They go tick, engaged,
right,
next,
right. And those kind of things really just fuel us and give us that desire to keep moving, keep moving forward. And I will tell you that, as you were telling that young man on LinkedIn the other day, hey, if getting started is, you consider that an obstacle, just wait. There's going to be a lot more along the way.
Yeah, that was his thing. He was like, I'm trying to get into something and this and that, and he's like, well, I got some ideas and I'm thinking about starting, but I can't remember the words, but it was like fear of starting. It was like, like you said.
Right.
accept that.
Right.
That's gonna happen a lot.
Yeah.
I'm almost like, and I'm like very not. I don't care what people like. Obviously, very much into that. But there's still like you can say that a million times. But everyone still cares a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Still care a little bit. But like I'll catch myself every once in a while. I'll do something and I'll be like, I'll watch the followers on a particular page go up by 15, and I'm like, yes, and then the number comes down one. It's like someone saw what I did and they didn't like it and they unfollowed. And for like 14 seconds, I'm like, dang it, what did I do in that video that caused someone to unfollow?
Right.
And then I have to catch myself and be like, but you added, it's net 14.
Right.
So like, yeah.
The other thing I'll mention about haters, and we'll kind of wrap up, is that it is just like thinking about the person back home on the couch, and they're in between commercials, and they're on their phone, and they're hating on you or throwing shade or whatnot. And I have some team members from time to time go, how do you feel about that? And I said, well, I actually kind of feel sad for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely do, because I'm doing my thing, and as I defined success not too long ago, is helping as many people as I possibly can. And if one person or two or 1,500 are back home going, oh, that guy, he's crap. I mean, it's just, and they're sitting on their phone doing this, and I'm like, while you were sitting here doing that, I'm still over here building what I'm building, helping a lot of people, and I just going, that's a sad state of life. And I really feel, I said many prayers for people like that here recently, actually, because I don't see it as a threat as much as I do feel really bad that they're in that stage of a life, that's what they're spending time on.
Yeah, it's like the people that are in the stands at the game yelling at the guy. Well, you came to watch him, bro.
Right.
What do you think he cares about? What you paid $500 to sit on the court and yell at that dude taking the free throw? You think he cares about you?
Right.
He's laughing to the bank.
Yeah,
he got like $9,000 just to shoot that free throw.
I had dinner with a friend this past week, and when he got there, I thought he was sick. I mean, he was talking like this. I was a really bad impression, and I said, man, are you okay? What's wrong? He said, well, I was at that game last night.
Yeah,
I just went, that is so funny.
But
I said, I know they changed everything they did because you were fussing, right?
Yeah. Did they win because of him? Yeah, for sure.
No, they ended up losing that game, which was even more funny to me.
Oh, was it the ECU?
No, it was UNC.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyway, any last thoughts?
No. Embrace people not liking what you're doing.
Right.
Because if you're doing stuff that's not threatening to anybody, no one's going to care enough to tell you that that's dumb.
Right.
To stop.
Yeah.
So,
love your haters. They're fuel.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Until next time, I'm BJ.
And I'm Zach.
All right. This is
The Unnamed Podcast with BJ Murphy and Zach Holcomb.
All right, man. That was great.